Hey guys, Patriot coming to you from inside my kitchen here, and I've actually got my gear laid out, and well, not really laid out, but I'm preparing for another overnighter up in the North Country, and just going to stay in the hammock up there. But I'm going to be testing out a system that I recently put together. This is the Cabelas Alaskan II pack frame, and this is a pack frame that I've actually owned for a long time. In fact, this was actually given to me by my brother, and I believe it was a Christmas present that goes back quite a few years ago. I don't know, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. But I've had this, yeah, it's at least that long. But I've had this pack for quite a while, and it's been a good pack. I like to use it when I'm loaded up on a desert hike because the external frame pack keeps that thing away from my back. It utilizes a mesh screen that kind of fits into the small of my back, and other than the shoulder straps and the belt pad, I don't have a lot of contact with that heavy pack with my body. And you know, out here it's really a big deal, the amount of perspiration that you have. Sometimes another pack, it just isn't as friendly as a good external frame. Now traditionally, one of the issues with an external frame pack, and it's still the case actually, is weight. Weight is such a factor that they're not doing a lot of external frame packs, not nearly the number that they used to. It used to be sort of be a standard. These days it's not the norm at all. I'm going to pan down here a little bit lower and show you where we're going. This is a whole bunch of stuff that I've actually taken off of this pack in order to lighten it up and make this thing a little bit more user friendly. I've actually got this pack down into the weight of a typical Osprey internal frame pack with my modifications here, and I'm going to show you those in detail shortly. Let's go back up to the pack here. Cabelas has this pack listed as a 4,300 cubic inch pack. I don't know how many liters that equates to. I never looked, but I know that most of the packs are measuring in liters these days. 4,300 on this pack is a bit conservative. A lot of people say that it's more like a 4,600 cubic inch pack. Another reason for getting this is it's a great pack. The material that it's made out of, the nylon shell, is outstanding. It carries really well. It's got a lot of storage room. It fits pretty close to your back. A lot of the size on this one is more in the area of girth from here to here. So these days, or back when, you know, the pack style frame is more, they kind of make them a little bit wider from here to here. Modern internal frames are narrower, but they come out from your back further. So they've got a little bit more depth to them this direction. So that's just kind of the style. And the reason for that is that they want the pack to kind of hug your body and to just fit real close in. So this one, obviously it sticks out past my body, but that's the nature of a frame style pack like this. Okay, so this gaggle of stuff down here, well, I'll just tell you what I took off. This stuff either came with the pack or was attached to the pack, and by discarding all of this stuff, I've lightened the backpack by 1.23 pounds, which is pretty substantial when you just think that this is all strapping and some tubing and stuff like that I'm not using. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the modifications. Alright guys, I think I'm just going to sit down here and go through these different items with you and tell you what they are, where they came from on the pack, and maybe this will give you guys some ideas if you have an older backpack or even a frame pack and you're just thinking about still utilizing it because it's good equipment. This is great. This is a great pack, by the way. I've done quite a few miles with this on my back, usually with a 35 to 40 pound load in it. So it's a pack that I know well, and it doesn't cost me anything. I don't have to go out and get another pack because of the modifications that I did. If I did that, I could probably save a little bit of weight, about 1 pound, but the other problem with going to another pack is something that I touched on already, and that was, if I go to another pack, it's not going to be an external frame, it's going to be an internal frame. Now, I have a couple of internal frame packs, some decent quality packs, and the amount of perspiration that I get on my back when I'm wearing those types of packs is just ridiculous. Now, I don't mind it too much when I'm carrying a 20-pound load or 18-pound load. You know, even that's not too bad. But when you're carrying 35 plus 40 pounds on your back, this one's actually a little heavier, and I'll tell you the reason why here shortly. When you're carrying that much weight on you, the amount of energy and hydration that it takes to replace all that sweat, I mean, it's pretty substantial. But let's go ahead and move forward here. The first thing that I took off of this pack was the shelf that sits on the bottom of the pack. This actually was made to support a load on top of it. This came out and hung this way, and you'll see this is a real common thing on all frame packs, that it's kind of got a shelf down here at the bottom. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way, but it's going to be kind of right here. Now, I didn't really have a problem with this. I actually like what it did. Now, I've never packed out meat with this particular pack, and that's basically what this is made for. You can take the shell off and utilize this, load up a quarter of an elk here, or whatever, half a mule deer, whatever you want to do, and that would load here onto the external frame, and the pack itself just is velcroed on here at various attachment points. This would come off. I'm not telling backpack people something that they don't already know, but I thought I'd just kind of cover everything. Alright, so don't want that to fall on me. Okay, so this is actually a kind of a nice feature. The problem with it, just the way I'm built, I was running into an issue with the front, with these tabs right here. They were actually rubbing on the inside of my hips back here. So the end of the backpack came in, and these would actually rub on my hips depending on what angle, if I was going downhill, that sort of thing. Well, there was no way around it. I'm, you know, it's just my shape and everything, and the way that the pack is configured for my comfort, those ended up touching my hips, and it became a bit of an issue. So you can see how this ends, and this actually sweeps away from the body right here. Get myself backwards a little bit. But basically, this attached here, but you can see it actually comes in a bit. Hopefully you can see that. I'm a little bit far away. But see how this actually comes back towards my body? That was a problem with this. And at times, I was actually stuffing pieces of foam or clothing here so that I wouldn't get rubbed raw by this. So when it came to lightening this pack or modifying it to make it something that was that would be usable for me for this purpose that I came up with, this was the first to go. This piece alone is about ½ a pound with this fabric on it, these steel fixtures, and the aluminum tubing. It's made out of some decently beefy stuff. It's about just ½ a pound worth right there. Alright guys, the next thing that I did, you see just a couple of small pieces of aluminum tubing here. You can see where I cut it off. What this is from is this hoop. It goes over the top right here, and it slides into a larger diameter tube right here. What I did was, this is a quick release. I pushed in these tabs, pulled this hoop out, and this was the additional length on the bottom of that hoop that was just much longer than it had to be. It actually went down in here a lot further. So I went ahead and took that out. and lost a little bit of weight there. Okay. Actually, I was going to go from heaviest to lightest, and I kind of got out of order. But this is the next item right here. These are aluminum uprights. These are aluminum stays. And these aluminum stays went from the bottom bar down here, and it went up behind the backpack and connected to the top bar here. And what this did, it prevented the interior load to bulge out or touch your back, make any contact besides where it's supposed to be contact. The pad down here and this mesh right here, this big piece of mesh, keeps airflow between your back and the pack. Well, I experimented a little bit. They weren't easy to get out. I actually had to bend them a little bit. They were a little bit more straight. I had to bend these in order to get them out. It was aluminum. They were obviously installed when the pack was built, and then they powder coated over it. You can see by the aluminum, bare aluminum on there. But these gave a little bit of support. Now, when I say I experimented with it, I did just that. I removed these, I packed up my load the way that I would have it, and made sure that there was no contact, nothing coming through and touching my back. Indeed, nothing is touching. The only real concern is going to be in this area, right down here, because that's where it's the closest. There's nothing else anywhere remotely close. So as long as this area here is controlled, I'm okay. Now I can control that with different ways. The way that I pack in here, the way that I support this or put a pad in here. Right now I have 7 days worth of food in this area here inside of a big stuff sack. So it's very rigid. It's kind of a compressed and rigid block of dehydrated food down in here, and that helps to kind of form this and keep it from bulging out. So it kind of might seem minor, but when you start counting grams and adding everything up, these two pieces right here weigh the same as 4 descender rings and 3 little mini aluminum stakes here, 10 stakes. So just by getting rid of this, it allows me to carry this or anything else that I want. Or if it's nothing that I need, I can leave that weight off and leave the pack lighter. So nice thing about something like this that isn't doing anything for you, it gives you options. That's a nice gain right there. Typically this would be considered a reasonable amount of weight.